on this week's live stream. Get a first peek at our newest game release, a Mario-themed Scratch board game. Plus, we turn ourselves into food while playtesting game design student Jeffrey's deliciously fun new platformer. And we check out a cat-crazy Scratcher who's clawed her way to the top with projects based on a popular teen book series.
I've been having dreams of hunting in the forest.
All this and more coming right up on the Chromeworks live stream.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm here. Okay, so what inspired it was a game that I played a few years back on my Nintendo 3DS. It was called Mario Party Star Rush, and it had a lot of different side modes, and one of the side modes that it had was also called Mario Shuffle, and it had a similar idea to the one I created, but it's not exactly the same because we had to make some workarounds, but it inspired me to make this game, and I'm very happy with how it turned out.
Great, great. Yeah, we're enjoying it very much too. Sorry, guys, my microphone was cut out too. How many technical glitches can I have in one morning? We're just trying to figure that out right now. So let's go have a look at David's game right now. So this is the product of a couple of weeks of work, and just a very impressive remake or kind of a reinterpretation of a Mario board game. Let's have a look at it right here. So as you can see, there's two different players. Let me turn the volume down on that a little bit. So we've got player one's team, who is Mario, Wario, and Luigi, and we've got player two's team down at the bottom here, which is Princess Peach and I forget the name of these other characters. David, help me out here.
Toad and Yoshi.
Okay, all right, and Yoshi. Great. And so we can start by doing a dice roll. I'll just hold down the space key. And you can see our dice roll goes right down into the bottom here, and now we can move 5 or 6. And if we want to swap the dice roll, we can hit the Q button, and that turns the 6 into a 5 and vice versa. Let's go back here. So if I want to move 5 here, I'll just click on the character I want to move. And he makes a fun little noise, and then he goes forward, and then he goes back 2. This board is randomly generated, which is really cool. And so every time you play, it's going to be a slightly different experience. Let's move our second player, 6. There's a mute button down here in case you get sick of the music. There we go. Let's do that right now just for our demo. And yeah, really nice little game. Okay, so it's time for player 2 to roll here. I love these dice rolling effects, David. This is really cool. Anyway, and so now player 2 will move. And let's move player 2's other player. And so There we go. And so you're both you're moving all your players across the screen. If they happen to come across each other, the player that jumps on top of the other one in typical board game fashion throws the other one back to the beginning again, and we keep playing till the end. A nice little example of a board game, and we're coming out with part 1 of the tutorial a little later today at 11 o'clock. And that is going to be the first of a several part tutorial here. That we're doing something a little different this time, and we're just going to start releasing littler parts to this. And instead of waiting a whole week, we're just going to do one every couple of days. So part 1 is just 20 minutes and should be very accessible to you guys. And it's just about setting up the board here. And then we'll get into a little bit more. Probably on Monday, I'll release part 2. And part 3 by Wednesday, and we'll probably have the whole thing out by the end of the week. So we're looking forward to bringing that to you guys. A really nice little project anyway. So congratulations, David, on a great job. Has anyone in the Discord had a chance to play this yet?
Not yet.
Not yet. Anyway, do have a look at it, guys. A fantastic little project. So who is with us on the Discord this morning? I just heard from Grayson. Good morning, Grayson.
Good morning. This is the first time I've joined in weeks because I was busy with basketball and stuff.
Yeah, real life gets in the way. No problems at all. That just happens from time to time. How's your basketball career going?
It's going okay.
Yeah, I just heard from Super Cannon 20, who is a basketball player in Oregon, and his team is #1 in the state right now. So that's one of the reasons we haven't heard from him lately. So we're really excited about that. Let me turn the background noises up. I don't think people can hear you right now, Grayson. Okay, here we go. That's better. Anyway, so unfortunately, athletics and other things do get in the way of our scratching from time to time, but I'll forgive you guys for that. Who else has joined us today in Discord? Crazy Kirby Boy, Thane from Florida is here with us. Good morning, Thane. You around, buddy?
I think he said he doesn't have a mic right now.
Okay, no microphone. Anyway, Thane's been a regular contributor. We're going to see one of his projects coming up. Yeah, sorry, I didn't see that he didn't have his microphone running.
Sorry for interrupting, but I just want to state that I do have a game at, I think, 11 or 12, but I managed to squeeze some time into where I can join.
Okay. All right,
so I have like an hour.
Yeah, well, we're happy. We'll be well done in an hour. Don't worry about it. Yeah. So Thane is not, his microphone's not working right now, but we are going to be showing one of his projects later. We're going to be talking a little bit about comment animations, and Thane made a fantastic one for us this week, so we'll get to that in a little bit. I'm also joined by Deck from London, England. Good morning, Deck.
Hi.
And Deck, we're very excited to be showing one of your finished games today too. Deck did an environmentally themed game that we're going to be showing. He did a little tutorial on making clicker games, and he's made a Save the Oceans project, which I'm very excited to show you guys in a little bit. So how did you find some time to finally do some coding, Deck?
Pardon?
Well, how did you find time to finally do coding? You've been so busy lately.
This week we had an extra day off, so yeah, I had more time.
All right, fantastic. All right, your next mission, make a parade float for me. I'm going to be talking about that in a second, but we're still really short of parade floats for a Christmas special, so I'm going to get you guys working on that next. Speaking of Christmas, well, first of all, thanks to Yaveno, who I haven't heard from Yaveno before, but Yaveno's with us over on YouTube, and he mentioned to me that my sound was out. One of my many technical glitches this morning. Sorry, guys. I was scrambling around trying to prep stuff this morning, and I obviously didn't have everything figured out, so I apologize for that. Anyway, if anyone else is lurking over on YouTube, please do give us a shout and say hi, and I'll give you a little shout out on the stream. So speaking of Christmas, again, I'm going to make another pitch for my annual Christmas parade, which is... So this is my webpage, chromeworks.ca/parade. If you guys want to navigate over there, you'll find everything you need to know to enter our Christmas parade. There's a little tutorial here on how to make your own parade float. You'll find a link to our parade template, which you can find right here. Let me show it. Oh no, this is our folder. Where is the? All right, let's open up the parade template. So it's a super simple process. All you have to do is basically just open up this project, which you can find linked on my parade page, or you can find it in the file description down below. There's just a blank parade float here. You don't have to use this float necessarily. It's just a float with random costumes with spinning wheels. Just draw whatever it is that you're going to draw in the first frame here. Let's say I was going to draw a character, a Stickman-y character or something along those lines. And then just copy your character and animate him in the next frame. You can have as many or as few frames of animation as you want, but everything has to be done inside one frame. So we're going to bob him down here and then spin his arms around. Now this is a really quick example. There you go. And so when I import this sprite, it's going to automatically animate it, and your character will go across the parade square during my show as one of several different projects. So that's all you really have to do. I do need you to go into the code here and write the name of your cart and the name of your own name, your Scratch username or whatever name you want to be called by inside the broadcast. Share this with me inside this Scratch Holiday Parade studio, and then I will automatically enter you in the Scratch Parade, which is December 18th, the Saturday before Christmas. So looking forward to seeing more entries from you guys. I really want to see stuff. We had an entry this week from one of our new members who's been contributing quite a bit lately, Apple Pinku, who I just found out was a girl, and I'm sorry for misgendering you last week, Apple Pinku. Anyway, Apple Pinku's a grade 4 student, and she's super excited about coding, and she's been making all kinds of stuff lately. And I was just so happy to see her produce this little Santa Claus sprite, which looks beautiful. She followed a tutorial to make it, and it just looks lovely. And she's just finished animating it. And let's have a look at it with the animations. Isn't that lovely? So you can see it's not that difficult to put together a fun little animation. And I would love to see what the rest of you guys can do. And you can see how the name flashes on the screen here. Santa's Here by Apple Pinku. So you can join our parade and have your parade float go across the screen as well if you want to enter our event. Really looking forward to doing that. All right, so I was mentioning Thane and comment videos. You guys have probably all seen comment videos. Anyone here who's a scratcher. This is one by Yorflez that we're going to do as our story corner video for this week. So, but I just wanted to give you a sense of what these comment videos are. They're videos where famous scratchers take suggestions from their audience and then animate them. It's kind of basically improv animation where people in the audience give suggestions and then the animator puts them together. Really fantastic little projects. I'm going to show you Yorflez's project right now. Kevin, my co-op student, has been doing a great job with these little story corner videos where he looks at a little digital storytelling project every week and kind of lifts up the hood and looks at some of the coding underneath. So this week we had him do a comment animation, which is really great because I didn't know that Thane was working on a comment animation as well. So let's look at Kevin's report right now.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Story Corner. My name is Kevin, and today we're going to take a look at a short animation called Comment Animations 3, made by a scratcher called Yorflez. Let's dive right into it.
Hello. Hey you, make your comment animation sequel project.
No.
Oh, okay. Goodbye now. Rhombicocydodecahedron?
What struck me as interesting about this project was the 4 custom blocks that the Scratcher had used in his outro part of his animation. Notice that each of these custom blocks control a different element in the animation. The first custom block controls the Y position, basically the up and down. The second custom block controls the X position, basically the left and right. The third custom block controls the direction the character points at. And the last custom block controls the size of the character. Notice that all the functions are using sine. Sine is a trigonometry variable that you'll eventually learn in high school. There's a lot more stuff about trigonometry, but for this custom block, all you need to know is what a sine graph looks like. And here's what it looks like. As you can see, the sine graph goes up and down between 2 extremes forever, which is why it creates a wavy graph. Now this all might seem a bit overwhelming, but don't worry, we'll look into them one by one. The first custom block here is what creates the green repeating background in the outro of this animation. What this block does is it basically just makes the character or thing go up or go down at a specific value each time. The speed variable here controls how fast the effect will run, which is basically the spacing between each extreme, or in other words, how close the dips are. The power variable controls how much the variable will run, which is basically the spacing between the 2 extremes. The larger the value, the wider the graph. The position variable controls how much the character or thing will go in one direction, which is basically where the midpoint or midline is. The same logic applies to all other custom blocks here, because notice that the function which controls the value of change are all the same, and all 4 custom blocks are using the sine function. You'll soon notice that this Scratcher only used one of these 4 custom blocks in his animation, basically just the first one. The rest of the custom blocks here are all very similar to the first one, since they're all the same logic. The second custom block is a block that controls the X value, or the left and right. It has the exact same logic as the first custom block, except when you change the variable, you're only affecting the left and right movements or horizontal movements. The third custom block is what controls the direction of facing, basically just creates a spinning effect. All the variables are pretty self-explanatory. The speed variable controls how close the dips are, which then affects the pace of the movements. The power variable controls how wide the extremes are from each other, which then affects how much upwards or downwards the movement will be. And the position variable controls the midpoint or midline. The last custom block controls the size, same logic, different effect. The speed variable controls how close the dips are, which then affects the speed of the size changing. The power variable controls the distance between the 2 extremes, or basically the width of it, which then affects the max size of change and the least size of change. And the position variable controls the midpoint or midline. A reminder that you could apply this logic to any effect. Just make sure you're using this function. Feel free to cheek around with the trigonometry variables and see what happens. That's it for today's Story Corner, and I remind you to keep scratching. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button for more awesome Story Corner videos.
Well, thank you for that, Kevin. Yeah, so I really like the idea of these comment animations, and I put out a little community message this week asking people to make suggestions for comments that they'd like us to animate. So basically to comment some animations, and then I'm going to put it out to our membership to try and make some animations based on your suggestions. I just think it's a real cool idea in terms of improv. Like, it's a great way to do little short animations and get everyone to practice their animation skills. So anyway, so Thane already got to work on this month. He's doing a fantastic, he did a fantastic little project here called Comment Animations Kinda. He says the kinda because he doesn't have very many viewers, and so no one really commented any suggestions for him. So we went through some random scratch projects and found some suggestions there from other projects, and went ahead and animated them himself. So let me show you Thane's project here right now.
Okay.
Sonic!
Sorry.
Sonic!
Thank you. And there's that sign function again. It's showing up all over the place in code nowadays. Really, really useful if you want things kind of swaying around and being animated. Thane, that was a fantastic project. You're getting all kinds of love in the chat, and for good reason. I think that was just really, really funny. So I want to see more of these comment animations, and I'm going to challenge my members here to create some for me, but I need ideas. So please answer in the comments down below and give us some suggestions of little animations you'd like to see us make. Just something that we can do in less than 5 seconds. So just one sentence of something you would like to see animated, and I will put my membership to work and see what they can do, and I might take a crack at it myself. So let's get on that, guys. I'd like to see some more user participation here. All right. So, Game School. You guys who are regular watchers will know that my son Jeffrey, the gaming guru who's been coding since he was 7 years old, is 18 now. He graduated from high school last year and he went to school. He started post-secondary school this fall in faraway Sweden. He's attending Future Games, an elite Swedish gaming academy, and I couldn't be more proud of him. So he's been starting to make some fantastic work there, and every couple of weeks I bring you a little interview with Jeffrey just to talk a little bit about what game school is like. So and those of you guys who are actually interested in gaming as a career, what's it like going to school and working with a team and learning how to make game projects together? So I'm giving you a little peek behind the curtain here at what this is like in this segment called Game School. And this is the latest installment that I want to show you. They've just finished working on their first big game project, and they have done something really spectacular here. So let's get right to it. So I'm joined again by Jeffrey Tomec, game design student at Future Games, an elite Swedish gaming academy. Jeffrey's a Canadian student who's been studying there, and my son as well. Good morning, Jeffrey. How are you?
Hello. I'm doing good.
Good. So this in the last couple of weeks, you've been working on your first big group project at Future Games, and I want to hear all about it and tell our viewers.
Yeah. So at Future Games, you do these 4 big game projects over your time there. The first one's the shortest one. It's referred to as the Crash and Burn project, because a lot of the people on it aren't supposed to actually know what you're doing. The function of it is not really to make like a phenomenal game. It's to fail at making one and then learn from it for the next one. So the whole thing is kind of designed to go poorly. Though we tried to resist that for ours.
And so you don't think it did go poorly?
I'd say the game's pretty good.
I played it too, and I have to say it's fantastic. If this is the Crash and Burn, I can't wait to see what happens when you're giving it all guns here. So tell us about the game, and well, first of all, what the concept was and how you came about with the concept.
Yeah, so the concept came about from, well, okay, so there was a lot of, this was a weird project, so we had a bunch of different requirements for it. So first off, every team was making a game for kids based around magic. Okay. Like, okay, and a magical transformation specifically. And then we also had the every team had like a sub theme that they were supposed to do. So for us, we were the magic of food, but some people were like the magic of nature or something like that. Right. And yeah, so anyway, so we needed food, we needed magical transformations. We weren't entirely sure what to do with that. We were coming up with a few different ideas, and then Carl, one of our programmers, suggested the idea of doing something kind of like Prop Hunt, which is a Gary's Mod game mode where where search people pretend to be objects in a map, and a group of hunters have to find out who's out of place in like a house. and then destroy the objects that are people. Anyway, something like Prop Hunt, but there's like AI monsters running around searching for you, and you're playing as a little guy that can turn into different types of food.
Right. So you went home and prototyped this, right?
Yes. I prototyped an early version of it on the first night. We had so little time to make the game that I really wanted to get the ball rolling on development as quickly as possible. And being that I was already the main... so first of all, I was product owner, which means I kind of project manager, but it's not really that. It means like... It's I don't have that much power. It just means that it's on me if things go bad. Like I'm the guy who has to put their name on it first and foremost.
All the responsibility and none of the power.
Pretty much. That's the best way I would describe it. Though perhaps a little me-sided. Anyway, so I was product owner, and also I'm a gameplay designer, and I was the only gameplay designer on the project, which meant that making a base iteration of the gameplay seemed like an intelligent thing for me to do with my first night. So I stayed up really late the first night, whipped together a prototype that I just to try and get the team on track as quickly as possible, because I didn't want us to be sitting around trying to think about what the best way of handling this stuff is, and trying to debate about what the gameplay should be. I wanted, even if we were gonna be talking about and revising gameplay, I wanted my idea to be something that was immediately visually displayable to my teammates, instead of just trying to describe to them. If they could play it, that seemed a lot more effective.
So the final game ended up being third person, but you did the prototype as kind of a top-down, three-quarter perspective, eh?
Yes, I did. So a week into the 2-week project, we went out to to the Museum of Technology here in Stockholm, and we set up they had this whole exhibit set up for us, and we would go to our assigned computers that they had and get our games running on these laptops, and then children would go around in our target demographic and play all the games for playtesting.
Oh, that sounds like a lot of fun, having kids right there on the spot playing your games, eh?
Yeah. So in the first playtest, we had an automatic camera from 3/4 perspective that the player could. It wasn't strictly 3/4 because you could go on the walls on every side of the room by climbing up shelves, similar to the map in the final game. Except when you it wouldn't look good if the camera was facing behind the wall that you were sitting beside or whatever, so the camera had to shift around and turn to face you. And there was this whole automatic camera system that I spent a while coding, and then when the kids were playtesting it, one of the first things I noticed, and I suppose it's not that surprising now that everyone plays Minecraft and stuff, was that all these kids, the first thing they were saying is, why can't I control the camera?
Okay.
Why is the camera automatic? And I just want to be able to choose what I'm looking at, and because my system was pretty okay at approximating what the player needed to see for where they were on the level, but the kids wanted more control, and so we were thinking about that after, and we were like, okay, well, already we're going for these themes where you're playing as a really small little object running away from these scared from these big monsters that are chasing you, and our level designer Marika suggested that maybe it would just be smarter if we were looking more from the food's perspective up at the world around them instead of, and I was thinking, well, I can code a third person character easy, the third person's easier than the 3/4 thing, because the 3/4 thing had a bunch of automatic camera systems and all this stuff that had to be accounted for making sure that the camera was never in the wrong place. Once you put it on the player to control the camera, it's way easier to implement. So
a week into this crash and burn project, you kind of turned it in a totally different direction, eh?
The game was really still the same, but yeah, we did a lot of really last-minute significant changes to the game for a few reasons. There's a lot of things that I would have changed about this project at the end of the day, and having a more complete idea of it from the start is one of the number one things, I think. Changing the third person wasn't a big deal, but there were a lot of really significant things that changed between the first and last version.
Right.
and some of those changed a week or on the final day of the project.
So a really good look at what crunch time is like in the game industry. You feel like you have a little bit of a taste of what that's like now, I guess, eh?
Yeah, it was. Well, I mean, when you're working on a small project, that's just kind of expected. Like nobody who's, for example, if you're told to do a 1-day game jam, if you don't think everyone on that 1-day game jam is gonna you're not gonna pull a 16-hour day and then go to sleep for the last 8 hours of your 24 hours for the game jam.
Right.
You're gonna wake up right at the start of the game jam, and then you're gonna go to sleep at the end of the game jam.
Right.
And you're not gonna and then you can sleep as long as you want because the game jam's over.
So let's talk about the finished project, which is now available on itch.io as well, right? So even our students here can play the game themselves. Tell me all about it. So it's called Please Don't Eat Me, right?
Yes, it is called Please Don't Eat Me. Thank you. I almost forgot. It's been a little while since I've been working on it. Anyway, it's called Please Don't Eat Me. You can play it on itch. I'm sure there'll be a link on the video and stuff like that. Yeah. You might as well. I mean, it's fun. I might
tell us
be a little biased.
Tell us the gist of the game and a little bit of the gameplay.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Yeah. So you're this little guy. The story is expressed right at the start in this little book that you can read through. You'll not understand it. I don't know if a single person who's played the game has got what we were going for in the story. We really should have. We should have made that make a little more sense. But I mean, you can have your own interpretation. I'm not going to tell you what's happening.
It was something about a wizard trying to destroy the world or something.
Something. You'll get it. You'll get it. Anyway, but then you get into the game. You're this little speck. This little little ball guy that's running around, and then if you walk up next to food, you can turn into that food. And then once you've become food, you have to go and shove yourself inside this cauldron to make a potion out of all the foods in the level to turn yourself back into being a human.
Okay.
From the little speck you've turned yourself into.
Right. And so you're looking at a recipe card, trying to assemble the ingredients for a recipe. Yes. Basically, running around this wizard's laboratory that has high shelves and all sorts of out of reach things in it. Right. That's the gist.
Yes. And then the catch is that there's this monster chasing you around the whole time, who's one of the wizard's old pets, who's trying to eat him.
Right. Hence the title. Yeah. Please Don't Eat Me. Right.
Yes.
Right. And so many of the different foods that you can pick up have attributes that they lend to you, right? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. So we would have had more had we been given more time. So there's only 3 primary ones. Burgers can double jump. It's quite fun.
Right. That's cool.
Pies can glide. To get to other places, and hot dogs are thinner than all the other foods.
So you can fit into little crammed up spaces.
Yeah. There's a few places specifically designed that only the hot dog can get to them through the intended pass. Though there's a lot of different ways to get to different things. Then there's also a few little gimmicks, like there's a physics object on the level that can be knocked over to get. There's one of the foods can't jump.
Right.
That's its main issue, and so you can't get it back to the cauldron unless you make a bridge by pushing a physics object off a. Well, I don't know if you found that one and you're playing.
I think I saw it maybe in the trailer or something. I haven't gotten that far in the gameplay. I've spent about 20 minutes playing it and got a little frustrated. But it was fun though. I'm actually really enjoying testing it out, and it is a free game. I'm going to remind you guys, so please give it a look, viewers. Anyway, so. Yeah, it's a super fun game. What's the reaction been?
A reaction. I mean, the kids that played it liked it a lot. It's not like after it's got an itch, I don't think anyone's played it. I haven't tested how many downloads I've got. Probably not many.
Yeah, probably not many. Well, we'll see if we can whip up some downloads for you here anyway. But
yeah, it's more just so I can show it as a portfolio piece, and everyone else on the team can, of course, as well. We worked with a lot of really great people.
So as someone who's been working individually, like as a lone wolf for all these years, it must have been strange working with all these other resources that you can rely on, having other people working on different things and not having all the control, of course, as well.
Yeah, it was. It's certainly different. I do think it was very much like a group effort where we were all coming up with ideas and stuff like that, which is to an extent how it's supposed to be, but also I think it went a little too far in this project. Like if there was one thing I could have changed about it after, I would have had the designers doing more design and all the other people being more, having it be more like authoritative,
right.
in like who's coming up with the ideas and who's implementing them. When you have 8 people trying to agree on every game mechanic and stuff, it's just too much. It's too much meetings. You don't get enough done.
There's an old saying that applies especially to food: too many cooks spoil the broth, right? And so that seems appropriate for your game.
Yeah, that's how it works for just in general in game development, from especially after this. So if I was doing this more in future, which I plan to be, and I've already started working on another side project we'll probably be talking about soon.
Yes.
And there's another one starting after that. And in general, like in future projects, we're trying to keep it to like a few people's vision for a game with a lot of other people working on it.
Right.
Instead of, not that those people don't have input, of course, when I'm approached by like a really good idea, like we should maybe third person would be more fitting to the game, or the cool idea for the cauldron interface, that kind of stuff. Right. Those are the kind of things where it's like, everybody in the team's input is very valuable. It's just that you don't put everything to vote when you do have those disagreements. It more falls on who has final say in what department of the game.
I get it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, it looks like you've got lots of interesting times ahead of you at game design school here, Jeffrey.
Yes, it's been a lot of fun.
Good. Well, I can't wait to hear about the next project you're working on. We'll be getting back to you and doing another interview about your side project in a couple of weeks, I'm sure. In the meantime, happy game designing there, Jeffrey. I'm so glad that you're thriving there. And we'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, it was nice talking to you. I see you guys around.
All right, so here is Jeffrey and his Team 3's game, Please Don't Eat Me, on itch.io. I have included the link down below in the comments, in the file descriptions. So please give it a download. It's about 46 megabytes. It's a Windows-only installation, and it's just a super fun little game. I am just shocked that this group managed to put this together in only 2 weeks. And the trailer is fantastic too. You saw some clips from the trailer as well as gameplay footage in the little video that I just showed you. And Jeffrey put together the trailer as well. He's quite a talented filmmaker as well, and he did pretty much all the work on the trailer aside from the music, of course. Anyway, so fantastic little project, and just wanted to show that off to you guys and give you a sense of what it's like going to real-life game school. Really cool. Okay, so we're moving on to a segment called Extreme Makeover Scratch Edition, which you guys have seen in the past. Let's get right to that. All right, so Deck has supplied our Extreme Makeover game this week, and he did a fun and very, whoa, I went a little too far there. This time you've gone too far. Let's see if we can do the back button here. He did a fun little environmentally sensitive game called Clean Our Oceans, a clicker game. And let me just give you a little look at it right now. So you start off with by picking up individual water bottles out of the ocean, and once you get enough money, you can afford to buy a reusable plastic drinking bottle. And as soon as you buy that, it starts giving you passive income. We're making an extra 1.5 points. Mr. T, it's from Team C's Mr. Beast program to save the oceans. I did not know that. So this has a connection to Mr. Beast, the famous YouTuber. I was not aware of that. Well, that is really cool. Okay, well, thanks for letting me know. Anyway, so you earn passive income like this, and once you get enough income, you can see that when we can't afford stuff, it turns gray. And once we get enough income, let me gather some more cash here. Whoa. I did some messing around with the code here already, and I apparently have introduced some problems into it. So yeah, we can afford to buy an ocean cleaning robot, and that gives you 5 points of passive income per second. Anyway, Deck did a great job with this. I just wanted to clean up the design a little bit, and also to change the animation around for clicking a little bit. And I actually had already started doing that, and that's what I was rushing to do just before the session started today, and that's why I was a little bit, so let me get this back to 100% again. Or it was probably 90% or something, a deck. There we go. Anyway, so deck's clicking mechanism here basically just resets the size, then does a little pause, and then resets the size again. It's not bad at all. It's kind of a popping kind of thing. I wanted a smoother motion here, so I disconnected his code here and added something with repeat loops here, where it just changes the size incrementally by 2 and then brings it back up to 2. Notice that if you click it really fast, though, it doesn't have time to resize itself before it starts again, and that's why we should probably reset the size to 75% at the end of every one of these routines here, just to make sure it has a chance to. So let's go, we're actually right at the beginning, let's do that. So we'll go to our looks commands here and go set size to 75. And then no matter how much I click this, it'll always come back to that same size again. There you go. So I just think that's a little bit more of a natural look with a little bit of a loop in there to change the size, just a little bit smoother. And so we can do that with the rest of the sprites as well. The big issue I had with the design was he's done some done some text at the bottom here, and you can see he's trying to make room for it, so he's had to move his second robot over. It's not really symmetrical the way that we'd like it to be in the game. This is hard to read as well, and it's just from a design perspective, it's not very clean looking. So I went and had a quick look at a different approach that Deck could use, and here's the suggestion I was going to make for him. So I've created a new costume here under Sprite 2 that looks a little bit like this. And you can see that I've gone with sort of a more minimal approach to the wording, cost 10, and then the output 1.5 points per second in each one. I did the same thing for the robot. You can see that we've done cost 125. And now this gives me the freedom to move that robot over a little bit like this. And, whoa, we've got his position being determined in the code here, I guess. So let me see if I can find where that, oh, here it is, 88. So let's stop. We'll move it over here and change the X to 2 instead. There we go. So, to my mind, that's looking a lot better. I would even, if I was going to continue coding this, maybe have this this as a separate sprite that didn't turn ghostly. Well, actually, it doesn't look bad the way that it is right now. The other thing I'd really want to fix is these graphics at the top here. I would probably want to design something using the text editor just to type it in here. Thane says he's the only person left on stage. It looks like everyone else has abandoned me. Oh, hi to Eddie and Maxie, who's saying hello. Tell us, give us a little description of who you are and where you come from, if you're interested. Eddie and Maxie, welcome to the stream. Hi. Hi, Deck.
Sorry, I disconnected.
No problems. So we were doing your game here. What do you think about my suggestions?
Oh, yeah, that's really nice because of the text, it took a lot of space, meaning that I couldn't, like, if I did other ones, then the text would overlap.
Yeah,
really nice.
And that was the problem you were obviously having here. So I just wanted to show our viewers a different approach that we can use to that I think is going to work much better. And so this kind of thing, designing something graphical rather than just having text go across, almost always works a lot better anyway. So this was the big extreme makeover lesson I wanted to do today, basically how to take these guys and do something a little nicer with your graphics. And that saved us the space and allowed us to do something a lot more symmetrical. So I don't want to belabor this point today. It's a nice little project, Deck. I gave you some other feedback on it, but I think that the look and feel of it is really what needed a little bit of a cleanup here. So hope you take advantage of that. I'm going to share this project right now, and you can find it under my Mr. T account. Or actually, I'll just text you the address right now.
Is it okay if I use the things?
Yeah, by all means. Yeah, I would just go ahead and just steal the code, backpack it, or the code and the graphics, and go ahead and fix your own project up, Deck. I'd love to see your updates in it. No problems. Okay, so it's time for our Scratcher of the Week segment, and this week's Scratcher of the Week is someone I hadn't heard of before, a Scratcher named Blazeheart, who does well, she has actually retired from Scratch right now. She's no longer making Scratch content, but she just does still check her account from time to time. But for a couple of years there, she was making tons of cat-related content, all based on this Warriors series. I don't know if you guys have seen or heard of the Warriors series. It's about a bunch of feral cats out in the wild trying to survive, fighting against other tribes of feral cats. It's kind of tribal life out in the wild. Just a cool little series of books that teenage girls just go gaga over. And so Blazeheart spent a couple of years just putting out all kinds of amazing cat content that was inspired by this. And we sent Aiden out to have a look at some of her content, and this is his report.
What's up, guys? On this episode of Scratcher of the Week, we're going to be talking about Blazeheart, a Scratcher with almost 10,000 followers and is top 50 for most followed in the US. She has one of the most unique art styles I've ever seen on Scratch, and she makes primarily cats and other things like that. She has an extremely popular animation series called Warriors Into the Wild, and an even more successful game called Warriors Clan Leader Game. Now I'll go ahead and give you guys a brief rundown of Blazeheart's animation series Warriors Into the Wild, which is based on a novel by Aaron Hunter. In the first episode, the clan is in a battle when Redtail returns to tell Bluestar that they've lost a battle. Then it's explained that they haven't been having as many kits and they're losing power.
I had told Redtail to send a warrior back to the camp as soon as the battle had started. Redtail, what happened? Why are you back so soon?
I'm sorry, Bluestar. There were too many RiverClan warriors. We lost the battle.
It's just that we've been low on apprentices and warriors lately, and there haven't been any kits this season. I just don't know what to do. ThunderClan is so weak.
In the next episode, a kitty pet is having dreams of going into the forest and hunting. He then sees a member of the clan and is recruited, and then he accepts.
Rusty, where do you think you're going? Smudge, I didn't see you there.
You're going into the forest? Why?
I've been having dreams of hunting in the forest.
Huh, you fight well for a kitty pet.
What is it like to live in a clan?
Maybe you should discover this for yourself. Would you like to join ThunderClan?
I've decided to join ThunderClan.
In the third episode, the kitty pet arrives at ThunderClan, but his presence is not received well by some of the other members.
Welcome to the ThunderClan camp.
Let all cats old enough to catch their own prey gather beneath the high rock for a clan meeting. This young cat has decided to join ThunderClan.
You're letting a kitty pet join us? Are you mouse-brained?
In the very last episode of this series, it's revealed that Redtail was tragically killed in battle, and Lionheart will be taking his place as deputy.
Redtail is dead. Oakhart killed him. Who's Redtail?
He was the deputy. I can't believe he's gone. We are all shaken, but ThunderClan needs a new deputy. Lionheart, you will be the new deputy of ThunderClan.
Blazeheart also has an extremely popular game called Warriors Clan Leader. It has more than 6,000 loves, and it's like you're playing in the same dimension as her animation series Warriors Into the Wild. In the game, you can choose your own name, you can choose your clan's name, you can choose your pelt color, and you can play through a lot of cool dialogue. It also has a lot of cool cutscenes where the animation really shines. The art style is also one of my favorite parts of the game, and if you have the time, I would definitely suggest you check it out. That'll be all for this episode of Scratcher of the Week. If you want to check out more of Blazeheart's amazing work, you can find that with the link on the screen, and have a great day. Thanks.
Yeah, here's Blazeheart's homepage. There is a message here saying that yeah, she joined 7 years ago and started making content back then, and she's now in university, I believe. A lot of the longtime scratchers I've been talking to have moved on to university, and some of them are still making stuff. I'm going to be having an interview with Zevo next week, who's another famous scratcher who's now in university at Cornell University. We're going to be talking to him next week. Looking forward to that. Anyway, so she says that she's not making anything anymore. She has a busy life and she's just moved on. You can see how much love she had for her projects. So if you look at her favorite projects, there is like 7 pages of fan art here, created by people who just love her series. All kinds of cool little cat art projects and remixes of her stuff. There's more than 7 pages here. So just page after page after page of fan art. Any one of us, I think, would be very, very grateful to have this kind of fan following for our scratch work. So, so bravo to Blazeheart for pioneering some great work. I was saying in the chat that it's just great to see some girl-friendly stuff happening on Scratch, and there is a lot of that. This is a platform that isn't just video games, and I think that's fantastic, and that's why I've been trying to do more work related to digital storytelling, which I think is a fantastic way to express yourself using code. Yeah, Hyper Blueberry's on YouTube and mentioning that I'm only 7 subscribers away from 1,000. So I'm going to be doing a 1,000 subscriber special next week, but I hope to hit 1,000. So if you're out there lurking, please drop me a subscription. Who will be our 1,000 subscriber? Very, very exciting moment for us. When you hit 1,000, you actually hit a new threshold with the YouTube algorithm. And generally speaking, the first 1,000 subscribers is the hardest bunch to get, and then after that, YouTube starts pitching you more and putting you in a higher ranking in their algorithm. So everyone out there who's been watching me, please drop me a subscription. I would love to get to 1,000 this weekend, and right after that, I'm hoping that things are going to start growing for Chromeworks pretty strong. We started, you'll remember, way back at the beginning of the pandemic. I was desperately looking for something for kids to do back in the very beginning when we didn't have a lot of remote schooling going, and we were looking for a way to get kids active during this very stressful time. And since then, we've grown into this amazing little project. We've got co-op students from all over participating and putting in content from us. We have students from as far away as Asia and Europe who are joining us every week. Anyway, Dex saying he remembers when he joined. Yeah, it's been a long road for us, and I've been really proud of the work that we've been doing here. We're constantly looking to improve, and I think we're putting together a really interesting product now that I'm very proud of. We had a game review lined up, but I think I'm going to hold that off until next week because we're actually running short of time here. So I wanted to remind everyone who's still with us, whoever's still watching. Oh, I got a message here from Hyper Blueberry again. I saw somewhere that you get yeah. So Hyper Blueberry is saying that, yeah, once you hit 1,000, you get recommended by the YouTube algorithm more often. So my channel is probably going to grow a lot more once you get to that. I'm very excited about that too, and so are some of my fans. Yeah, Hyper Blueberry has been with us right almost since day one as well, and as has Crazy Kirby Boy and the Decoder Deck. You guys have all been a fantastic fans and a great community for me. So looking forward to just continuing to grow and do more great stuff with you guys in the future. One of the things that I'm really excited about is we're starting to attract more interest from high-profile scratchers. I mentioned that we did Paddler Games last week. We did an interview with him. He is back this week teaching a private or sort of semi-private session on Discord. He's going to be teaching our Discord community a little bit about how he animates and codes his projects. Anyone who's still watching on YouTube Live right now, if you come and join my my Discord channel. If you're under 13, you're going to need your parents' permission to do this. But right now, I'm not going to be vetting anyone. If you're interested in just coming and joining, just jump onto my live stream on Discord. Let me just show you right now. So if you'd like to join our session on Discord, I'm not going to give you permanent access until I get some proof of identity. But for now, if you just want to get into this session, you can go to my webpage, chromeworks.ca, get to the live stream link here, and then click on the join button, and that will get you into the Discord. And just click on join our server, and you'll be able to get in to our session, which starts at 11 o'clock in 3 minutes from now. So we're going to give you temporary access today. If you join in the next couple of minutes, just say something in the Introduce Us channel, and I will give you permission to get onto our server so you can join the learning session with Paddler Games. So please join us today, and that's starting in just a couple of minutes. So that we are running out of time here today, guys. I thank you so much for joining me, and I am going to see you all next week with my interview with Zevo, and then right after that is our Christmas special, which I'm really excited about. Get working on those parade floats, guys. In the meantime, happy scratching, guys. I will see you next week.